Hello transport nerds and welcome back to Talking Planning. It's now been close to 2 months since I moved away from Newcastle and close to 4 months since I regularly caught public transport. Fortunately, I still have a couple more journeys up my sleeve left to share. So let's go and check out this Volvo B7R coach from Port Stephens Coaches, which I caught back in April. This is probably the most likely high floor bus you're going to see when you're travelling around in route service in Newcastle. They are a fairly common sight on weekday 130 and 131 services, which travel from Newcastle Interchange out to the Tomaree Peninsula. End to end, a trip from Newcastle Interchange to Fingal Bay can take just shy of 2 hours, so well-padded coach seats and decent legroom is pretty much a must for more comfortable journeys. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here. That applies to almost all high-floor buses, accessibility. Climbing up a bunch of narrow stairs is pretty difficult to do, or nearly impossible if you require mobility assistance. Fortunately, Port Stephens Coaches also has a variety of low floors which they use on all weekend services and a fair number of weekday bus runs. In addition, they have a few Bustech ADI vehicles, which have coach-style seating at the back and low-entrance seating areas and wheelchair spaces at the front. This design's actually quite a good compromise, and I wish more operators who do long-distance services took a good look at the ADI, as it hasn't really been one of Bustech's strongest selling products. Custom Coaches also built a variant of the CB80 on the same sort of principles, well suited to similar services. And I caught one of those a little while ago at Glasshouse Coaches, about 2 months before I started Talking Planning. Back to today's SB50, the coach seats fitted here are well padded and legroom is quite reasonable. Especially when you compare it to some of the really tight seats you'll find on some of the Port Stephens Coaches low floor buses. The seat fabric on this reminds me of a design fitted to Logan Coach's BCI Classmasters. And come to think of it, I think some of Hornibrook's older buses were retrimmed with this seat pattern as well. I personally quite like the design, and it actually looks pretty fresh today. Route service buses are interesting, and especially high floors, and typically when I think about high floor buses, I'm usually thinking of 20-plus-year-old designs which are usually reaching the end of their service life, like Scania L113 CRBs, Volvo B10Ms, Mercedes 0405s, and among plenty of other 90s designs. But as you can see quite clearly here, this Volvo is far more modern. If you want to see a rarer high-floor route service bus that fits in between the 90s specials I was talking about before and this relatively new bus, check out my review of a Hunter Valley Buses B7R on a 138 service. The bus I caught for today's review, 7827MO, was built back in 2017, so it clearly has plenty of more service life left in it. This also makes it one of the later B7Rs, as by this time B8R production was ramping up and the 290 horsepower Volvo D70 was soon to be superseded. Let's have a listen to it now though. The keen-eyed among you would have already noticed that this bus has a custom SB50 body, which is the CB80's high-floor cousin. This design is popular with school bus operators, and I've caught a few different SB50 bodied buses on rail replacement or shuttle services over the years, including with Logan Coaches, Yatala Bus and Coach and Coastal Liner. I quite like the design, even if it does look a little ungainly when compared to its sleek low-floor cousin. Now that we've made our way through most of Mayfield and are heading across the Stockton Bridge, let's sit back and relax as we make our way across the north channel of the Hunter River. Since we're now almost across the river, it's time for me to jump off this bus and head back into town. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you again soon.